public calls butter it.
What the hell?
The public? But I was thinking it'd be cool if most of it was like, you know, if you, I don't know if you wanted to roll under, then bring it all up and then do something here or take it out the back.
Oh, yeah.
Alright guys and gals, what I've got going on now is the mini truck is going to go off to a really talented fabricator here / welder in the Pacific Northwest. So we're gonna make some headers and get rid of our little Fiji bottle overflow there. A little sketchy how I have it on the car trailer. It's really narrow, so I got that one up on the the side, and that one's just sitting up there. So we're just gonna pray this thing doesn't fall off. I'm just kidding. I feel pretty confident with it. But we're gonna go ahead and take this thing out. He's way out in Malala, so he's a bit of a haul. We got some Schnitz Racing stainless steel exhaust flange. But when I get it out there, we'll kind of go over what we're gonna do. So yeah, let's get this thing where it needs to be. Figured now would be a good time to kind of let you guys know where the mini truck stands. Make sure it looks good on the trailer. It hasn't fallen off yet, so I would have typically put it in the enclosed trailer, but I've got the Galera in there and the CT70, and I use it for storage. It's got our swamp cooler in there and stuff too. But last we left off with the mini truck, I think I revved out, well, I should say 65 miles an hour was like top of third gear. So I went too far, a little nervous. Went a little bit too tall on the ratio. We had the 3/4 ton rear end with the Ford billet axles in there, disc brake and everything. Went too tall on the rear end. I need to pull it. I need to take it, drive it, and measure what RPM at what the speed is. All right, I'm gonna. Looks like it's bounced around a lot, which I think is fine. I think it's just the suspension is so terrible on the front of this truck. Well, I'm gonna snug that guy up, and then. Oh, hey, look at that. So, I don't know if anybody ever tows with these, but you typically go for a little drive and then you have to tighten it back down because everything does shift and move a pretty good amount back and forth, kind of settles in place. This is not the right way to do this side, but trailer's full of stuff, so let's it's not too far. If you tow many cars, these dollies are awesome to have, by the way. They're really cheap. You can get them for about, I don't know, 800 bucks used. Man, I put a lot of cars, a lot of miles on this thing. All right, feel pretty good about that. Okay, all right, let's carry on. Where was I? Last I left off, I got to do a different gear ratio because right now the truck is not like fast. It's the gearing is so tall on it that the gears are just stretched out way too far. If I can run it and figure out GPS this speed at this RPM, and then basically say I want a target of this speed at this RPM type of thing, I should be able to calculate where I want to be. People often think, oh yeah, I'll do 100 miles an hour on these trucks, whatever. If you've never driven one, your knees are pretty much in the dashboard, and if you crash this truck, there's no crumple zones or anything like that. You're pretty much dead. I would say if you crashed at 20, you'd probably be okay with some injuries, but they're tiny and there's no safety anywhere whatsoever. I really have no desire to do more than maybe 70 in this truck. And I'll be wearing a motorcycle helmet if I go any faster. It is that small. I think they're about 1,200 pounds, so they're really light as well. But yeah, it's definitely a death machine. So realistically, it's a little tricky because you know, Hayabusa, I'm guessing stock form probably does close to 175 is probably my guess. And I only want to do maybe top it out to where it'll do 100 max, like top of 6 gears. So it's going to be a little bit of a struggle. Right now, the way the gearing is, I bet this truck would probably do 150 miles an hour. I'm sure it would fall apart or disintegrate before it got to that speed, or just get some crazy death wobble. The suspension on the front's like this big. It's pretty poor. But change the oh look, police officer right there. Thank you for protecting the public. Anyways, so yeah, gear ratio, change gear ratio, and then the clutch is working on the handle on the shifter. I just need to bleed the clutch a little bit because it's hard to get it in and out of gear because it's not quite engaging far enough, but it works. Drove around the neighborhood before I put it on the trailer. Bleed the clutch, and then obviously the work that's getting done right now, the exhaust is going to happen, and the other main struggle is getting reverse. And I think I'm going to basically mount a motor with a pulley, likely with a pulley, or a sprocket to the front differential, and then it's going to be driven off the front diff. When you click a button, it's going to lock that front differential, because remember, it's still four-wheel drive. It's going to lock the front differential and spin the truck in reverse. It doesn't need much. You can literally reach underneath there and grab the pinion or the flange, and you could just turn it and the whole truck will roll. Just a strong 12-volt motor, either sprocket or pulley, one or the other, and to drive it in reverse. Once I get it back, get the headers and everything and the exhaust totally done, then I can focus on getting the reverse done, changing the differential ratio, and we're also, oh thanks, that was nice. Also probably going to do a nicer overflow bottle, have this guy make something slick, and some aesthetics and whatever, but probably do some different wheels and tires. We looked into turbocharging this thing, but in all reality, you kind of need some tall gears to build boost, and I don't know that this truck would ever, I don't know how to really make that work right, because if I only want to do a max of maybe 80 miles an hour in this truck, and if it was somewhere in the realm of, you know, 350 horsepower, it's going to be kind of unusable. So I do want to use this truck for picking up bikes and do deliveries and whatever. I'm hoping that I didn't just completely ruin it with everything that I did. But all right, I'm gonna go ahead and pull over and check this thing one more time, just because it doesn't take that long. Make sure everything's all safe and kosher. Pop out and take a peek.
Hi, Paul.
Hit that.
What's going on? I was wondering, do you have a tip of the day for us?
I do.
Okay, what is it?
Don't buy Chinese scooter.
That's a good one.
It's a pretty good one.
Yeah. Any life tips, or is that just a tip?
Life tips. Man. Nothing that's PG-13 comes to mind.
Oh, okay. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Hey, John. Do you got a tip of the day?
Yes. Don't pee into the wind.
Good one. You got life advice.
Try not to die. Good. All right, feel good about it. I had a close call. One time doing a long road trip to Southern California with the family. I got back, we had the motorhome, we were towing my wife's car, and I pulled in the driveway after, it was a 2,000 mile trip, and I lifted up the hitch, or the tongue I should say, and the whole component between the top part that latches and the piece that grips on the ball completely just fell apart in my hand. So that was one time I got really lucky. It had a crack up inside the piece, I'm guessing, and over time it just slowly got bigger and bigger, came apart. And then a week and a half ago, we were in Arizona, Nevada, whatever, did a long road trip too, and you've got the receiver with the hitch, and then you've got the pin that goes in, and then the other pin, it's like a big cotter pin that goes in the side. That pin, they're all brand new, literally came out, the pin came out, and the whole hitch came out of the motorhome, and I saw the rig, I saw the car floating behind us like this on the dolly doing 70 miles an hour. Oh my God. What the hell? Holy shit. And my wife's jaw just opened as she saw it on the camera, and I just went silent into this slow. Car was just doing this back and forth, and slowly pulled over to the shoulder and got underneath, and it was totally disconnected and just a safety chain. So every so often I just pull over and just check everything, because I've had 2 really close calls, and the pin was in and everything. They were something I bought on Amazon, and they seemed fine, but the metal just actually expanded, and the pins came out, but not good. Check your shit. Maybe a little interesting because you can't back a car dolly up because I don't know, something with the wheels will steer on it. So hopefully this goes through. Oh, sweet, dead end. Just what I don't want. Yeah, you can't back a car dolly up because the steering wheels will turn. The front 2 steer wheels will turn, and then the thing will just kind of jackknife. So I'm gonna just roll up on the street, I guess, and unload it. Definitely poses a little bit of a challenge when you're towing like this, because like I said, you can't just back up. You gotta turn around. So slow creeping. Oh, she's staring at me. She likes the truck. Maybe she wants a ride. Probably not. Does look a hair suspicious, however. And I've been trying to get this guy to do our work for a long time. He's nuts, insane good. So super stoked here. All right.
It calls, butter it.
Where was that earlier?
I saw someone else say it. I was like,
I like that one.
That's a good one. I'm gonna write this down.
You know what I like? Maybe short, but it sure is skinny.
The one I like is you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
What about the shots you do take and miss?
No, I like when the bread calls, butter it.
Yeah. What about when the butter calls?
Bread it.
Do you bread it?
You bread it, bro.
But I feel like breaded butter is something different than buttered bread.
Oh, 100%. That's like gross.
Breading. Yeah.
That's gross. Like
That's
imagine
gross.
opening like a tub of butter with bread in it.
No. Not if it's like shake and bake though. That's a breading. Like breadcrumbs. That would you could probably pull that off.
That
if you
sounds
shake
very
and
American.
bake, if you shake and bake a stick of butter and then slice it and then put it on your bread, that could probably be good. I have a Traeger, and I tried to smoke everything on it, like pizza. Pizza's really good. I tried to smoke a fried egg on it. You know, like cracked it, let it sit, and it just turned into like a rubber frisbee. It was not good.
A rubber frisbee.
Yeah, it was really bad.
You know what tastes really good?
What?
Your wife's cupcakes.
Bro, why you gotta talk about my wife's cupcakes like that?
I don't know. It
They're
was
not
my
cupcakes
birthday.
either. She told me they're not cupcakes.
Okay, my birthday was a week ago, and I was like, damn, Brandon's gonna bring some of those cupcakes that I can. And then he didn't.
My wife
and I was
is gonna.
sad.
My wife is gonna remember his. This guy says, "I don't want a cupcake at a party," and
Yeah, I didn't want
then he
one.
ate like 7 of them. He was
Ate 7.
shoving them into his
I
mouth
didn't want
and
one.
looking at the plate to see if there's any left as he was shoving them into his mouth.
Yeah, I ate 7, and that's why I didn't want to eat one because I knew I was gonna eat 7.
And he said, "It's a good thing you didn't. It's a good thing I didn't have one earlier because I would have eaten the entire plate."
Yes, tasty. You know what else is tasty?
I'm afraid to hear what it is.
What? This is tasty.
Bang energy.
Ooh, I got Taco Bell yesterday, and I got Baja Blast. I drank half of it, then I poured half a Bang in it too. It's quite tasty.
There's a tip of the day right there.
It was really good.
Oh, it's like a garbage. He's like a garbage can with feet.
What? It's a lot of things I wouldn't eat that a garbage can probably would.
I don't know.
Alright, just rock it back a little bit. There it goes. So what I typically do is there's just like 6 bolts and the whole bed just comes right off. Yeah, it's really easy. I wanted it on just so you could see where the fender is on the other side. But yeah, now it goes under. We just basically just threw something on super fast and cheap just so we could drive it on the street and without getting, you know, arrested. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, my thought is, and it doesn't matter to me what side you do it on, whatever ends up easier for you.
Well, you wanted to go over the frame rail.
Well, I was thinking, I don't know, you could take a peek, but I was thinking it'd be cool if most of it was like, you know, if you, I don't know if you wanted to roll under, then bring it all up and then do something here or take it out the back or whatever, but it'd be nice to have whatever's done like nice and exposed along this area. I thought this side may be better for you, but if there's not,
Yeah, it's definitely better because otherwise I gotta wrap it over the top or...
Yeah. And then there's like I had my guys do this and I'm sure it could be a world's better, you know, because we're not pro fabricators by any means. But like we have a Fiji bottle for an overflow. So I'm game to do like a nice, you know, nice Billa overflow bottle.
Sure. There
would be cool. And we just got it to where it just ran and then it just got put in storage. I went too tall on the differential rate. I went too tall on the ratio, and top of third gear is like 70 miles an hour. So I have to, I gotta pull the diff back out and take it out and send it out to somebody who can change the ratio to something a little bit shorter. The flange is in there in the seat for the Schnitz flange. And then as far as...
You happen to get a muffler?
I ordered one, it's coming.
Okay.
Yeah. As far as this goes, I mean, I don't know if there's if you can maybe just lay something out. And as much, if you end up getting other projects or whatever, the exhaust is the main priority, but feel free to do, just run it by me first. But it'd be nice to have some nice filler plate that kind of filled this whole area in, you know what I mean? That was, the motor was sticking out because we still want to put bikes, we still want to use it for like deliveries and bikes and stuff. The cover before I think was, you can see that was the factory cover was here. And then it just got cut larger for all the work that we were doing.
You want to close it up some more so that you've just got like come into here?
Yeah, see that would be cool.
Okay.
Yeah. And the other thing I have to do at some point is we rigid mounted everything because that's how it was on the bike, but it's the noise vibration inside is it's horrible.
So you want some sort of bushings for motor mounts?
Yeah, well see, you can do it. Problem is you'd have to take a peek at how it was done because we didn't really know what we were doing. We just kind of like set it in place and just started welding brackets. So there's bushings here and this is welded to the frame. But in theory, you'd have to basically redesign this whole piece because I don't see where you could fit bushings in anywhere. I mean, I would say the exhaust first and then maybe figure out some nice plate that I would say something that can just be unbolted would be ideal.
Okay.
Because if we could take the cover off to be able to work on stuff, it'd be nice if it was just kind of covered most of everything, because if we put it in the one show, I mean, I still have to go through and do a lot of work, but I'd rather, like, the wiring needs to be cleaned up and everything, but it'd be nice if this was covered.
Okay, and then you mentioned velocity stacks.
Of course, I mean, or what would you suggest for this? I mean,
you can buy 100 different things and we can make something, or you can buy them and we can retrofit it or whatever, but how do you feel about, like, weather? You don't want to just leave them open and exposed.
Yeah.
So, do you want some sort of a plenum?
Yeah, I mean, could you plenum with like a nice filter on the end of it? Yeah, that'd be cool.
Okay.
Because I mean, we're not going for like max. I mean, we're not going for like some crazy horsepower numbers by any means. And I know that my guys just threw this on because the plastic airbox just looked horrendous, and they just did this.
Yeah, well, I'm just thinking if you end up caught in the rain someday.
Yeah, I'm game.
more than likely, I'm going to focus on the exhaust end of it.
Yeah.
I'm going to probably just CAD up a cover for this.
Okay.
That can get laser cut. And
Okay.
then generally, laser cutting's 2 to 3 weeks out anyway, so I'll focus on that.
Okay.
See how much of that I can get done. Hopefully, that by the time I'm done with headers and exhaust, they're done with that cover, and I can have that portion of that for
Okay.
you. And then I'll start looking at what I can do for a plenum and throttle
Okay.
bodies, velocity stacks.
Okay.
So what I'll promise you anyway is that I'll have the header and the exhaust done.
Okay.
And then at that point we can kind of say, okay, I got to get the next car
Yep.
in, and then so this has to go, and then
Yeah.
I'll get you the cover. And,
Yeah, that's fine.
okay, cool.
Yeah, the exhaust is the main thing, just because if the one show ends up happening, I'd like to have that done at least, you know, because it would just be really nice to have it all exposed here on the side.
Yeah.
All right, you want some cash, right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
There you go. Cool.
Yeah.
Where do you want the tip? And what kind of tip do you want? Do you want like just a slash cut or a straight cut or a teardrop or?
Probably a slash cut, I would say. I'm not super
So
picky.
going out the back is going to be the quietest. Actually, I guess since this thing's a right-hand drive, if it came out the side,
This side.
it may be the quietest for you.
Yeah, I would say maybe somewhere over here
Okay.
would be ideal.
Okay.
Yeah, because you could see it a little bit. It'd look good if you can bring it out here. Maybe if not straight out the back. I'm not.
This isn't a dump bed, right?
No, it's not.
Okay.
No, these do though. Actually, well, it doesn't matter. You won't be driving with it, but all 4 sides come down. But it's not like it's never gonna get driven like that at any point. Like I said, I'm not super picky. As long as it looks good, you'd run it on your own rig. Like I said, I'm not super picky on whether it's angled or out the back. I'm not super concerned with it either way. But it's the noise vibrations is the loudest thing on this right now. The exhaust isn't loud at all. But all right, man.
Cool.
Well, appreciate it.
All right, we'll see you later. I'll
All right.
keep you posted.
Okay.
I'll send you pics of progress, and then like maybe I'll get the header kind of fitted and,
Okay.
and maybe start working on the exhaust. And
Okay.
that would be a good point to come over and
Yeah.
if you want to shoot some video.
Yeah, because I'll just have Patrick just come over, and he won't get in your way, but he can just get a few pictures and videos of you putting it together, because he'll put together a little video, and then if you want any of the stuff, he can just send it over to you if you want it for your stuff. He does really good work. So he said he met you somewhere. I don't know, he knows you somehow, but somewhere in LA or
Do
something.
they
I
call
don't
him
know.
Big Pat?
Fat Pat.
Pat Pat?
Yeah, taller guy. Yeah, he does all of our
okay.
YouTube stuff now.
Yeah, I
So,
met him.
but sweet.
Cool.
All right, man. Thanks a lot. All right. Time to go back to work.